Good evening, traders. Zach here from the Trading Network. Hope you guys are doing well. It is Wednesday, March 17th, and I've got another daily market profile recap for both ES and NQ. So we are going to start off with ES today. Both profiles super similar, so it's probably going to be a bit of a quicker recap because we didn't really have much of a difference in regards to the structure I was looking at on the open today. So starting off with the ES levels, let's hop over to the profile here. And first and foremost, I was looking at that prior range high at 39.70. You can see that level right there. Second level was the overnight high just below that at 39.60.25. Below that, I was looking at the prior value area low, which was that 39.51 level. And below that, I was looking at the prior range low, which was 39.42.75. Last but not least, the last level I was interested in was the previous point of control, the POC from Tuesday's session. You can see that right here at. And last but not least, I was looking at that prior point of control from Tuesday's session, or I'm sorry, Monday's session at 39.34. You can see that right down here. So the key levels for NQ, we will pop over and look at those as well. We are on the June contract, or I was doing my analysis on the June contract today, and that is both for ES and NQ. So key levels for NQ, starting with the prior range high once again, that was the 13,287 level. You can see that right here. Second level was the overnight high at the 13,173 level, right below yesterday's point of control at 13,182. Next below that was the overnight point of control. That was at 13,117, this level right here. This was a really important level for me because this was the point of control overnight POC from the 15th into 16th Globex session. It was also the value area low from the following regular trading hour session for the 16th. It was also the overnight POC from last night, and it ended up being today's value area high. So this 13,110 to 13,120 area is going to be a really important level or zone to watch moving forward. So with that said, let me just straighten that out a little bit. Below that 13,117 level, I was looking at the prior range low at 13,077. And the last level I was looking at was the overnight low at 12,967. So with that said, let us scroll down a little bit and we will get into my pre-market analysis, starting with how the overnight inventory was positioned. So the overnight inventory was slightly imbalanced to the short side on both ES and NQ. So you can see if we look at the settlement price on NQ, I'll get rid of these other drawings. Settlement price on NQ, you can see that a majority of the price action was to the downside there. And flipping over to ES, we will see that same thing. So settlement right here at 39.5250 and a majority of the price action overnight under that. So moving forward, when the overnight inventory is in balance, the higher probability play is to see 1, trending price action over ranging price action, and 2, it's higher probability that the overnight gets faded in the opposite direction. So if the overnight inventory is long, it's a higher probability that the New York session sells that overnight inventory off to correct it, and vice versa. If the overnight inventory is short, then the higher probability is for overnight inventory to pick price up and correct that overnight inventory to the upside. However, because we had FOMC today, which is a very important news event that only happens 4 times a year, that presented a lot of uncertainty in the market. There was a ton of uncertainty about interest rates. People weren't sure if they were going to be increased, and there was a risk-off scenario because people were worried about inflation. Turns out that the rates didn't change at all, and as soon as those numbers came out, price pumped really heavily. So that's why you can see we have this weak structure here, this double print area, where we will very likely come and fill this area maybe tomorrow, but in the sessions to come, I think it's a very good chance that we fill in this 39.42 to 39.56 area. So with that said, I was considering 2 scenarios for both ES and NQ. Scenario 1 was if ES and NQ could move and hold above that overnight low. That was my line in the sand, and we opened way down here. So it was a little spooky on open. It looked like we might continue to fade the overnight inventory and move down into here. So I like the overnight low as my line in the sand for both ES right here, 39.35, and for NQ, 12.967. So my thought was if we could hold above that, then we were going to see correction of the overnight inventory because overnight inventory was short, which was the higher probability play, and that's exactly what we got. Scenario 2 was if we rejected that overnight low right here on both ES and NQ, that we were going to very likely see pressure back into or below the value areas from not yesterday's session, but the Monday session. So today I was looking at the overnight low at 39.35 on ES. You can see that right here. And I was looking at the overnight low on NQ at 12.967.50. Again, my thoughts were if price could move and hold above those levels on open, I was going to be looking to take long opportunity for an overnight inventory correction to the upside. And if we could not move and hold above those levels, then I was indeed looking for a move back into Monday's value area and very likely lower. With that said, we got that upside push. We got that overnight inventory correction, which was the higher probability play. And it helped us immediately on open to determine what to look for, what was the most likely scenario. And on the flip side, even if that didn't play out, we had another opportunity to make money on the short side. That's always what we want. We don't want to be stuck to one side. We want to say, okay, this is the higher probability play because this is how we opened. This is how we are positioned in comparison to the overnight inventory. But there's always a possibility, even with a 70-80% chance of the overnight inventory getting corrected, still that 20-30% chance of the lower probability play happening. And we always have to be prepared for that. And most importantly, we always got to be able to make money on both sides of the market. So with that said, we got that upside continuation. You can see, just to reiterate, these are my line in the sands. I was looking for this level to hold, and if not, we were looking for that downside continuation. And we will get right into the line in the sands versus the targets here. So like I said, pretty quick market profile recap today. The bulls were in control. We had, like I said, a little bit of a spook to the downside of the overnight low, temporarily breaking on open, but we could not hold below that overnight low. We got picked up and we moved up with the quickness, especially after those Fed numbers got released. So let's get right into the targets here. We'll start with ES. Line in the sand, we will highlight this right here, 39.35 area. That was the overnight low. And the first upside target I was looking at was 39.4275, which was right here, and that was the range low from yesterday. The second upside target was 39.50, and that was not only the value area low from that same session, or right by it, it was also the overnight low from that previous session as well. So you can see there's confluence here, and if we back up, that 49 level was a previous regular trading hours high from March 15th. So the third upside target, and by the way, these upside targets actually did not get hit other than 42, that first one, until after the initial balance. So I had to be very patient, but the patience certainly paid off today if you were able to hold that trade idea, understand that even though it took a long time, that upside correction of the overnight inventory was still valid. So had to be patient if you wanted to get more than 6-7 points out of that first target. All right, so that third upside target that I was looking at was yesterday's point of control at 39.5675, and that was definitely hit later in the afternoon after those Fed numbers got released. You can see if I zoom in here, we didn't get up there until L period, and we stayed up in this area and held pretty tight above POC, above the initial balance levels, above that previous overnight POC at 39.59 as well. So pretty bullish, and you can see just for reference, our current overnight profile hanging very nicely above all of these levels. So let's not take too much time getting into any further analysis or projections at the moment. I want to get into that next level that I was looking at, which was the 39.60 level. And that was indeed this level right here that I was interested in. That was the regular trading hours high from March 15th, overnight POC that I just mentioned from 15th into 16th Globex session, initial balance low that I just mentioned, and the prior overnight low as well. So that was a very, very interesting area that I thought was very likely we were going to visit if we could get that upside pressure and overnight inventory correction. Last but not least, 39.64. 39.64 was yesterday's value area high, 39.64.75 to be precise. So a lot of good confluence there. You can see that that ended up being our overnight high, Globex high from the 15th into the 16th session. Again, yesterday's value area high and very close to the current Globex session's low. So we'll see how that plays out. Again, downside targets, we did get a couple of them hit. We got 39.33 hit. 39.33 was indeed this POC right here. The ticks per level setting was different when I made the trade plan this morning. So as you guys know, point or two, give or take, depending on what my settings are set to. So first downside target got hit, obviously just a point, so that was a pretty simple target. And then that second downside target got hit at 39.2625. That was the initial balance low from March 15th session and ended up being our value area low as well. So two downside targets hit, all 5 of the upside targets hit on ES. Now let us flip over to NQ and mark off the line in the sand for this morning on NQ. So here's the line in the sand, overnight low. And upside targets, first and foremost, we got that 13K level hit in the initial balance off the bat. Second level was 1348. We also got that level hit off the bat. That was the overnight low from the 15th into 16th Globex session as well. Third upside target was 1377, and that was not hit in the initial balance. Right after the initial balance, we did get that level hit. You can see that right here, and that was the regular trading hours session low from March 16th, 1377. We've been talking about that in some previous videos as well, so that's an important level to keep an eye on. That fourth level was 13,114. That was a level that was in yesterday's trade plan and very important that I discussed a bit earlier. That was not only the overnight POC from that 15th into 16th Globex sesh, it was the value area low from the 16th, it was the POC from last night's Globex session, and it was today's value area high. So very important level there, and that was the fourth upside target that was hit later in the day on NQ. Fifth upside target, 13,132. We can see that right above that previous target. That is the initial balance low. Again, for those of you not familiar, for those of you guys new to the page, first of all, welcome, much love. And second of all, the initial balance is the opening 1 hour range. So if you see this green area of the profile here, this helps me signify and as a quick visual reference for the range and how wide the range was in the opening 1 hour of New York session. With that said, you can use the initial balance for varying strategies utilizing market profile as well, which I will be sure to discuss in some future videos. So last but not least, that final upside target that got hit was 13,173. 13,173, if we zoom out a little bit here, again, another level with great confluence. We had a POC from way back here, 13,173. That was the March 2nd point of control. It was also the overnight high from last night. So I really like that level for an area of dense liquidity. And what that means is a very likely area where there's a lot of orders sitting, where price will get essentially magnetized to, sucked up into, to absorb those orders and obviously see what the big players want to do from that point on. So with all of those upside targets gone over, you can see that our downside was fairly minimal. We did not have any of the downside targets hit. We only got maybe 30 points, 33 points below our overnight low. So we didn't even hit the first downside target at 12,887. You can see that was the value area low from the 15th regular trading hour sesh. So all the upside targets were taken out on ES and NQ. No downside targets on NQ. Couple downside targets on ES, and that is how the cookie crumbled on a very interesting Fed FOMC day. No interest rate change. Bullish for the market overall is my opinion, especially with this short trapped B profile that we had today. 336 point range on ES. I'm sorry, on NQ, and a 48.5 point range on ES. And just as I mentioned, we got the B-shaped profile. So if you guys are familiar with the market profile, you guys will know that this indicates a lot of shorts being trapped. This is an area where a lot of business was done. As soon as that Fed news came in, price got bought up quickly, and we hung up in this level, and we are still chilling there. So we will see how things develop throughout the rest of the week, and it will be very interesting, especially with kind of that lurking news out of the way. So with that said, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch these videos. I immensely appreciate you all being a part of the Trading Network. And thank you guys, especially to those of you who are liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Really appreciate it. And if you do like what you see, don't forget to click that like button, subscribe, and let me know what you think about these videos. If you guys want to learn how to join the Trading Network or get more information on TTN, check out those links in the description below. First and foremost, where you will get access to our free Facebook group, where I release these trade plans Monday through Friday, every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. You will also find a link to our website, thetradingnetwork.io, where you can get access to one-on-one mentorship with me, the Trading Network Proprietary Indicator Package, the Trading Network private Discord access, where you can watch me and the Trading Network team trade live on a daily basis every day at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. The Trading Network Discord, for those of you guys who are interested, I've been getting a lot of questions. It's a two-way stream, so you guys can watch me stream. You'll be able to turn your microphone on, ask me questions. You can ask me why I took a trade in real time. I'll explain it to you. I'll show you the setup. I talk about setups before they happen, and we discuss these technical factors that present us high probability opportunity on a daily basis. So feel free to check out the website if you want to join our Discord. And last but not least, on the website, you will also find information on the Fundamentals of Futures Trading course and the FFT course bundles, where you can get access to the course, the indicator package, the Discord for life, and more. Thank you guys again. I appreciate you so much, and I will see you in the next video.